Fantasy Football Semi-Pros.
Is that Shane Graham?
No, Palmer.
Nice.
Well, Palmer and TJ.
DJ Hushmanzada.
Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Football Semi-Pros. I'm Brandon. With me is Ryan. Ryan, how are you today?
Good. Okay. How about that? Yeah, I'm good, man. Good.
Good to hear. Good to hear. So, we'll go ahead and get started into some stuff right now.
Just representing the Calvin Ridley Falcons autograph here today. Won that on an auction, I think. Right, Barber?
Yep.
Barber did it, not me.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Greetings and welcome. I want to play a game.
Me too. I got my bobbleheads.
All right, so we'll do something fun instead of trivia right now.
Oh, man. Okay, let's do it.
So, I was listening to a podcast on the way here, and they were posed a question.
Okay.
You either have to go skinny dipping in a public fountain for 5 minutes, or you have to spend the time and take every coin out of a public fountain. Which one are you doing?
Okay. I'm assuming there are...
You get to keep the coins.
No, I'm assuming there are no legal actions that can be brought against you, so you can't be arrested for public decency.
Yeah.
And I think it's also a federal crime to steal coins out of a water fountain.
Yeah, we'll say there's no punishment.
I'm going to sit there naked. I love my body. I don't care.
I kind of figured you'd choose that one.
It would take about probably a few hours to get every coin out of a water fountain. And it might total like $30 at most.
Not only that, you might be stealing from kids or something.
Yeah, I don't
A
want
lot of times those will go to charity.
I don't want to steal their wishes.
Now, what I'd probably do, I'd take the coins out, but I'd donate that to charity myself and maybe match it.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
I'm gonna try to make a situation good.
Yeah, okay. I'm okay with my body. I'm gonna sit in there naked.
All right.
Naked.
So since you did sound a little,
Tom Brady, watch out, Heidi Klum. Or Giselle. It's actually Giselle. Giselle's coming for me. That ain't true.
so since you sound a little disappointed, we can do some trivia as well.
Oh yeah, so you prepared?
I had some prepared, yes.
Yeah, I don't prepare.
All right. So this first one, your favorite position to guess.
Oh, I beat you again in DFS. I didn't realize that.
Well, we'll get to that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
5 players have had 6 or more 20-plus yard receptions so far this year. So their catch has been 20 or more yards.
And they've had 6 receptions over 20 yards.
Correct. Who are they?
Okay, what was the rest of that question?
5 players have had 6 or more 20-plus yard receptions so far this year. Who are they?
I think an obvious answer would be Tyreek Hill, but I feel like that might be a trick question.
He is tied for second.
Cool. Okay.
With 7.
Tyreek Hill. Tyler Lockett.
Nope.
Cooper Kupp.
Yep, he's actually tied for third. Well, technically 5th. With 6.
6 receptions over 20 yards. I feel like Jamar Chase is close, but might be 1 shy.
He is not on this list.
So he must be 1 shy. Terry McLaurin.
Yep, he's tied for 5th with 6.
So that's 3 out of the
So
5.
you've got one, the top, and the person who's tied for second.
But I did 3.
Yeah.
I guess 3 of them.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm going to throw this one out there just to see if it sticks like spaghetti. AJ Green?
Mm-mm.
Ah, I bet he's close though. I only need 2 more, right?
Yep.
Are any of them Arizona Cardinals?
Nope.
I didn't think so. Who throws a lot? What about Antonio Brown?
Nope.
Are any of them tight ends?
Nope. They're all wide receivers.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. That narrows it.
One plays in the AFC North.
Which is the Bears.
No.
The AFC North. Oh, that's NFC. Sorry. AFC North. So it's not a Bengal. Marquise Brown.
Yep. Hollywood Brown is one. He's at 7.
Okay.
And the other one is in the NFC South.
That's like the Saints, Colts,
Not Colts.
Saints, Falcons, Panthers. Who else is in the NFC South?
The
NFC.
Bucks.
The Bucks. I already guessed the Bucks. I'm gonna say no. Can't be a Saint. DJ Moore.
Yep. He's leading the league with 8 receptions over 20 yards this year.
Woo! That's a much. That's a lot.
All right, and I have
I
one.
did pretty good on that one.
Yeah.
Not too shabby. It's pretty accurate. Probably like a 60% accuracy rate. I'll
All right,
take it.
I got one more for you then.
Okay.
This player has completed a league
Let me
high.
drink my Pepsi real quick, please.
This player has completed a league high 76.1% of their passes. Is the second in the league with 9.5 yards per pass attempt, and leads the league with 16 completions of 25 or more yards. Who is it? So it's a quarterback.
I don't want to say Jalen Hurts because
Nope.
he's been accurate the last couple games. I think he's posted like 276% completion percentage games in a row.
It is not Jalen Hurts.
What about Dak Prescott?
Nope.
Taylor Heineke?
No.
Absolutely not Davis Mills.
Oh yeah, it's Davis Mills.
It wasn't Baker Mayfield because he played like butt juju the other day.
One of your favorite quarterbacks.
Is it Murray? Because he's
Yep.
pretty accurate.
It is
I
Kyler
think.
Murray.
I think when we were watching Sunday, I said he's highly accurate. I think he's only had like a high of 4 incompletions in one game and all season long.
All right, so moving on, we got our
Kyler Murray, baby.
we got our ESPN Pick'em. So last week Ryan went 10-6, his
My
lowest.
worst week ever.
But he's still leading our Pick'em group overall with a 45-19.
I think it's just one game though.
It is, but it's still a lead as a lead.
W is a W.
And I ended up going 9-7.
W.
I have a 38-26 overall record.
Dang.
And Devin actually did. She led our division.
She's
Pick'em last
one
week.
game behind you. Yeah, Devin had a really good week of 12-4.
Yep, she's 37-27 now.
Man, she made up 3 games on you, Barber.
The coin went 8-8 this last week.
It's actually pretty good for a coin.
Yeah, and it's now 27-37.
I literally forgot about DFS. Completely
Yep.
forgot about it.
So DFS this last week, neither of us had a good week,
No, we all did.
and I blame Travis Kelce mostly.
But that's week 4, not week 3. But
I
I believe
didn't
I'm
change it.
3-1 against you, and your highest win average was by 0.4 points. Your
Well,
only
my only win.
was 0.4.
But yeah, Ryan won 100.32 to 91.62.
But we got killed by MCAT.
Yep, MCAT, she had 190 something points.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
MCAT, for joining the league this week, as well as Cairo
Absolutely
Egyptians.
disgusting. Yeah, you guys have been great. It was kind of cool being in there. I can't win every week, all right? So somebody's got to take the reins.
He hasn't won since they jumped in.
I'm not a very big person, so I can't carry all this weight by carrying this entire show on my back all the time. So thank you. You're free to help. You're free to join if you have that thing to look up or whatever.
Yep. So I'll post the link to our league or our challenge, our DFS challenge or league. Feel free to join. It's a free competition. That's just there for bragging rights.
Yeah, it's just
You
for
don't
fun.
even have to deposit in DraftKings to play.
Nope, it's pretty fun. Even though I still do DFS just to get better and try to make some money. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's still. I've been doing it for a few years, and last year was the first year I took it seriously. I remember the first week I got like a free ticket into the Millionaire Maker.
You thought you were gonna win it all?
I didn't think I was going to win it all, but I ended up with $100.
Nice.
Out of it. Downhill since then.
Yeah, that'll happen.
All right,
That
so
will happen.
we'll jump into our Week 5 previews. So we're not going to preview tonight's game, the Rams at their Los Angeles Rams at Seattle. I think both Ryan and I took Rams for the night.
Yeah, I took the Rams.
Other than that, so we'll just go ahead and move on. So our first game, a game in London across the pond. Ryan, you want to do a British accent?
What do you want me to say?
I don't know. I was just asking if you want to do a British accent while we're going over this one.
Oh, bro, what's this then?
Oh, God.
A football game, is it?
So we got the New York Jets at the Atlanta Falcons. As of last night, the Falcons were 3-point favorites, but you got to think that's probably starting to change right now. Because earlier today we had the news that Calvin Ridley and Russell Gage are not traveling to London with the team. Calvin Ridley, before you get worried, he's not hurt.
It's a family
It's
emergency.
a personal matter. That's what they said.
I think I saw somewhere it was a matter related to a family thing. So
Fair.
I can't. Don't back me up or don't put any weight on that. But
remember, this game's starting early. I believe 9:00 Eastern.
it says it locks at 9:30. So
9:30.
I believe it's 9:30. I think coverage starts at 9 a.m.
So be prepared. Make sure you if you have anybody in that game, make sure you're looking early, or you set it the night before.
Whew, man, this off the bottom dwellers.
So get into this. Just injury news. Elijah Moore, he is suffering from concussion from 2 weeks ago. He was limited on Wednesday. Russell Gage, we mentioned he's not traveling with the team. So I wanted to bring up this stat. Kyle Pitts versus TJ Hawkinson.
Okay, I was like really confused where this was going.
Yep. So Hawkinson in his first 4 games of his rookie season, he had 11 receptions, 19 targets, 166 yards, 2 TDs.
Okay.
Kyle Pitts so far through his first 4 games, 15 receptions, 26 targets, 189 yards, 2 TDs. What this is basically saying is TJ Hawkinson's probably had one of the better rookie seasons.
You said 2 TDs for Pitts, but Pitts doesn't have any touchdowns.
I thought I said 0. Sorry, 0
He
TDs.
said 2 TDs. Pitts has 0 TDs. Just to be clear.
Yeah, so I wanted to go with this. Hawkinson had one of the better rookie seasons that we've seen in a while. Kyle Pitts is seeing more receptions, more yards,
more targets. The
only thing here
there.
is different is touchdowns, and those are fluky.
The volume's there, and when you have a hot hand like Cordero Patterson last week, if you think Cordero Patterson's going to put up those numbers every single week, you're high, you're crazy, you're on some hallucinogens.
And he wants some.
Yeah, I would take some. But, I mean, Pitts is going to get his.
Especially this week without Gage and
yeah, and I think
Ridley.
we were sitting there. I might go change my DFS and put Pitts in somewhere if he's not, like, crazy
I don't
expensive.
think he's not in the main slate.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So the main slate's 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock games.
Ah.
But without Ridley was having a 60% target share, which is the highest in the league. Those targets have to go somewhere. Honestly, Pitts and Hurst might be the 2 best plays. Patterson, I'm definitely plugging in my lineup.
Oh, definitely. Are you sure 60% is the highest in the league? Because I feel like Brandon Cooks is the whole entire offense in Houston right now.
We will get to that later. But yes, I am sure 60% is the highest in the league. I looked this up last night. As for the Jets side, I mean, the Jets have allowed the 4th fewest fantasy points to wide receivers.
They got good defense.
There's nobody out there for the Falcons. So you're running Pitts out there if you have them, but it could be a rough week still.
And possibly Hurst if you have him as well. I think really the only 3 viable options to play in any position or flex right now for the Falcons this week, if you want to take the risk, is Pitts, which I'm risking it to get the biscuit. Hurst this week only, with all the wide receivers gone, and obviously Cordero Patterson. But man,
as for this Jets side, I've been going out and trying to get Crowder.
if you can get Crowder, I think
him and Davis are 2 viable options, especially against this Falcons defense, who isn't really that good.
No, I mean the Washington football team put up 34.
I can't remember.
34 is an ugly, ugly game. But yeah, I mean, On the Jets side, I'm still not playing a running back just because it's crowded. That backfield's crowded.
If I'm rostering one, it's only Michael Carter.
Rostering, yes, it's Carter. I think I'm playing him in a league where I sold off everybody that was about a potential RB1, RB2. I sold off my entire team for draft picks, so we'll see how that goes. But
I will say this might be your chance to buy Carter as well, because in the future I think his stocks can go up. So if you're in a dynasty league, this might be your chance to go out and get him.
And take this with a grain of salt, because last year everybody thought LaMichael Pirine was the next guy up in New York. But man,
Pirine wasn't used last year. Carter's being used. That's the difference.
Yeah, that's fair. But right now I'm only, if I have to, in a flex position playing Crowder. If Elijah Moore is healthy and it's a deep league, I think Crowder's the only one you're going to play.
Fair.
With any confidence.
I would take a shot on Davis if needed.
Right. I would certainly try Davis as well, and possibly Elijah Moore if he's healthy. But man, I'm still.
I want to see it from Moore before I put him in.
I'm still playing. Yeah, I'm still playing this safe and not plugging him in unless I absolutely have to.
All right. So Ryan, who's your pick for this game?
I got the Jets just because. Even last week with Gage out and Ridley in the lineup. And Olamide Zacchaeus, is he not playing this week?
He is. Oh, he's going to be the number one receiver.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, I go with like a 90% confidence rate into this game, thinking it's going to be the Jets. I think Zach Wilson and them found their stride last week a little bit against the Titans, but this Falcons team, man, they just can't win games. They beat the Giants, granted that, but they just can't win games.
And Jets, Jets. That's who I'm going with as well.
That's fair. Okay.
They're coming high off their win against the Titans, so it's hard not to take the Jets here.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So we'll move on to our next game. I find this game actually quite interesting right now.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Green Bay Packers, who are 3-point favorites at Cincinnati. Now, with this one, Aaron Jones was limited with an ankle injury on Wednesday.
I think he's playing.
Yeah, he's probably playing. Joe Mixon did not practice yesterday, did not practice today. At best, he's going to be a game-time decision. If he is out, they are going to take the running back by committee approach. So, Samaje Perine, Chris Evans in deep leagues.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably not starting Evans at all, though. Perine, I would be willing to take a shot.
They said this week, even if Mixon plays, Pirine's workload's going to go up just because they're going to try to keep Mixon less injured.
Last year on Week 16, which a lot of people's championships, Pirine won him a championship. 13 carries, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 receptions, 41 yards. So Pirine is capable. He can catch the ball. And
yeah, nobody's saying he can't.
Yeah, I'm just saying he's shown he can do it. At least even on this Bengals team. I also wanted to bring up, Joe Burrow has a passer rating of 152 this season when targeting Jamar Chase. A perfect passer rating is 158.3. He is highly efficient when he's throwing to Chase.
Wait, that's as high as you can go?
158.3?
How? I'd be like...
I don't know how they get this ranking or anything.
Yeah, me neither. Sorry.
But I just wanted to throw this out there. Typically, Packers, you're avoiding starting.
Hey, we got a question.
We'll get to after this one.
Sorry, man. We'll get it after this Bengals game. We'll hit you up with this question there, Jake.
But typically with the Packers, you're hesitant to start. You're hesitant to play the number one wide receiver because Jair Alexander is typically shadowing them. Yeah. Jair Alexander is likely out this week, and I think another one of their top cornerbacks is hurt. So Bengals wide receivers are full go. And before we get to the question, who are you picking this game?
As much as I hate to say it, I think I'm going Green Bay. I keep seeing a lot of things for, keys to success for the Bengals to upset the Green Bay Packers.
This could be a high-scoring game. So, I mean, if you're somewhere you can place bets, betting the over is not a bad idea. I'll probably place a smaller bet on the Bengals to win this, but I am taking Green Bay as well.
I feel dirty saying that, but I just want to be a realist. The Bengals are a pretty good 3-1 team. I just don't know after that week 1 just absolute embarrassment. Green Bay's 3-0 and they're looking pretty good. So I think we have to stick with them.
So going to our question that we have on Twitch, Giacomo 01 he's asking, who should I start this week, Mike Williams or Deebo Samuel? And I'm going to go with, that's a good question.
Yeah. Who is your other option?
Now, this is a half-point PPR league. I will say, so Los Angeles is playing the Browns, who have a good defense. And I was going to bring this up when we got to that game, but the Browns have held each team to their lowest scoring total each week this year, I think, except for Kansas City, who has an electric offense, and that one's going to be hard. And San Francisco...
Oh, yeah, that's tough. That's a good one. I'm going to see... Can I just add in here? I think Arizona and the 49ers are going to be... I think Arizona's going to control that game pretty well. So I think the volume there is gonna be there for Deebo. I think Deebo has a higher ceiling than Mike Williams.
What scares me with that is we don't know who the quarterback's going to be. And we kind of saw it with Trey Lance last week.
Garoppolo's already ruled out.
No, he's not.
I'm 90% sure it said
he's not been ruled out.
He hasn't been practicing. He's not playing.
He hasn't been practicing, but he's not ruled out yet.
Deebo did just fine with Trey Lance in the game last week. I'm
not arguing that part, but I'm just saying.
I would say Deebo.
Trey Lance, a rookie QB, we saw what happened with
They're going to have
Fields,
to throw.
But Trey Lance is also a one-read guy right now.
He's going to have to throw. I would opt in for Deebo. I love Mike Williams. I wish he was on any one of my rosters, but I just think that Browns defense is pretty tough. The Cardinals defense gives up a lot of yards and a lot of points. So I just think the volume is going to be there. I think Arizona's going to run away with that game.
No, I just wanted to put out my side, or the side for both of them. But I agree with you. I'd probably start Deebo this week as well.
So we're in agreement, Deebo. And we're sorry to Marshall last week when we told you don't play Darrell Henderson, and he did.
I was kind of hesitant because I wasn't sure how much he was going to play, how healthy he was going to be at the time.
Yeah, the health was a huge thing for me.
But
too.
yeah, it was a bad call.
It was our mistake, and we admit it. But I think Deebo's going to have the volume there this week.
All right, so we got Detroit and Minnesota. Minnesota is currently a 9-point favorite. In this one, Jamal Williams. He was limited Wednesday with a hip injury. Swift with a groin. Hawkinson did not practice yesterday. But I think I saw he was limited today.
Okay.
I think. I can't remember the notification. I was busy working. As for the other side of the ball, Minnesota, Dalvin Cook did not practice Wednesday. I think at the beginning of practice or before practice, he was taking some handoffs.
Hey, man, you're welcome. And we hope that advice works for you.
Dalvin Cook was taking some handoffs from Cousins, but I don't think he actually practiced today. Keep an eye on the injury report with Dalvin Cook. If he's healthy, run him out there. But if not, Madison's a good pivot if you have him.
Yeah, Madison's pretty good. I like that guy. He's got a really good skill set there.
Yep. So, Ryan, what are your thoughts on this game?
Man, Detroit is... I picked them last week to beat the Bears.
I'm not necessarily saying your pick right now. What are your thoughts on players for this game?
Man, I don't know. I think you got to throw Hawkinson out there.
I do want to bring up, Jamal Williams had the better stat line last week.
It's just
but
so
he had
much,
about half the snaps as Swift.
It's just such a timeshare in that backfield. It's hard. I got lucky playing Khalif Raymond in a couple of leagues last week just because of injuries. Man, I don't know. I think Raymond until Tyrell Williams comes back is an okay flex option. Preferably, if you're in a double flex league where you have two flexes, I would play him in the flex 2 spot. Wouldn't expect much from him. But, man, I think the only Lion at this point I would be comfortable with, and I'm going to ride him out because he is my tight end, is TJ Hawkinson. I'm just not confident in this offense, man. These guys.
There's so few weapons that it's easy to key on the few guys they have. I mean, I would start Swift still. Jamal Williams could be a flex still, potentially. You're starting Hawkinson if you have him. And honestly, Quez Watkins. He was the leading receiver for them last week. If you take away the touchdowns, he's getting the most targets, the most receptions.
Are you sure it's not Quintez Cephas?
Oh wait,
Quez Watkins is a Philadelphia Eagle.
Sorry, Quintez Cephas. You're right.
It's all right. I don't know how.
It was a long night last night.
Yeah, Cephas has been doing great, but I don't know how much long-term value he'll have.
Yeah, but I'm saying this week, especially without Tyrell Williams. And then I just want to bring up Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's starting to come into his own a bit.
That's
a guy to keep an eye on there.
Who I would focus on more.
All right, so Ryan, who's your pick for this game?
You know what? I gave my mom's hometown, Detroit Lions, the benefit of the doubt last week, and after their tough showing against the Ravens, I can't do it again. I'm going to go with the Vikings. I think I picked the Vikings almost every week this year. No. I picked the Cardinals over the Vikings, but I think I picked the Vikings every other week for whatever reason. I don't know. But I think the Vikings in Minnesota.
Well, we picked them over the Bengals week 1.
Yep.
You picked them over Cleveland because you thought Cleveland wasn't legit.
That was last week. And it was still a 14-7 game. They only gave up one touchdown.
You picked them over Seattle, thinking they were due.
I don't know. I don't know.
All right,
no, last week was against the Browns.
I didn't say last week against Browns. It wasn't against Browns. I said you picked them also against Seattle.
I don't know. I don't think they played Seattle, but it doesn't matter. Who cares?
They did.
I'm pretty sure I picked them multiple.
You did.
Times.
You picked them all but one week so far, and I'm going with Minnesota as well this week.
Hopefully, they can get back on the right track.
All right. So our next game, we got Denver Broncos at Pittsburgh Steelers.
God.
Yeah, this one. Ben Roethlisberger did not practice Wednesday. Plans to play Sunday. Juju Smith-Schuster was limited with the rib injury. Chase Claypool with a hamstring injury. He was limited on Wednesday. Honestly, from this Steelers side, I'm only considering starting Najee Harris and Deontay Johnson. Other than that, I'm looking elsewhere.
Yeah, it stinks.
Does it? I mean, I don't mind seeing the Pittsburgh Steelers being bad.
I would rather be the Pittsburgh Steelers when they're good. Like last year when, who was it? Brandon Allen started quarterback for the Bengals. Ryan Finley started quarterback for the Bengals on a Thursday night, and they just went out and just wrecked the Steelers.
I agree with you. I want to beat them when they're good, but at the same time.
That's the time to beat them. I don't like seeing any team be this bad. I think it's bad for the league. But
well, they're not truly bad. They did beat the Bills. It's not like they're Detroit Lions bad back when they were 0-16.
They haven't won a game since, and they haven't even been close since.
Fair, but they did beat the Bills, which I'm just saying that's a good team.
Man,
they're not 0-whatever bad.
They're 1-3 bad. So I don't know.
As for the other side of this ball, I just wanted to bring up Jerry Jeudy with an update. They said that Jerry Jeudy's hoping to return near the front end of his 6 to 8 week, and I just noticed I had a typo of 8 to 8 week.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
6 to 8 week recovery timeline.
He's still in your IR if you have room.
Yeah. Melvin Gordon, lower leg contusion, didn't practice Wednesday. He's not in danger of missing. Teddy Bridgewater with concussion, didn't practice Wednesday, was limited today. If he plays, that's the guy you want at quarterback over Drew Lock right now.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure you're starting him.
Unless it's a super, super deep league. Like, I could probably use Teddy Bridgewater over Taylor Heineke, but even I wouldn't trade. I wouldn't make that trade.
So, as for Broncos receivers, you're starting Patrick, you're starting Sutton. And because the reason is, the Steelers have given up the 5th most fantasy points to receivers this season. Sutton and Patrick.
They didn't have good weeks last week, but that's a better defense than what this Pittsburgh defense is. And I would even say throw out Noah Fant because there is no slot guy. There's no slot guy for the Broncos right now.
I mean, Judy's hurt. Hamlin's hurt. Fant's another good option, yes. So Ryan, who's your pick to win this game?
I believe I'm going with the who did I take? I'm gonna go with who I picked on Tuesday. I'm looking at my pick'em. Sorry everybody, I had it open, closed it. Yeah, I'm going Denver Broncos, regardless of who's starting at quarterback for the Broncos.
I agree. I'm going with the Broncos as well.
But 49% of ESPN people have picked the Steelers, and I'm just kind of sitting here thinking, why? Why?
Can you believe that that Pittsburgh Steelers are a potential destination for Rodgers next year?
Nah, I don't.
No, it's actually something that's been talked about quite a bit.
I think they're going to go younger. They want to get somebody that they can have there for the next 20 years.
I think they
That's
want to get
just-
somebody that's going to get them back in the championship immediately.
But that's just their trend. They don't really go after those 1 or 2 year quarterbacks. But that'd be interesting if I could see Aaron Rodgers play again in person, like I did a couple years ago in Chicago. That'd be cool.
All right, so move on to our next game. We got Miami at Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay is currently 10-point favorites. Will Fuller was placed on the IR with a broken finger. He's returned to throwing at least. He's not coming back this week. I don't even think he's eligible. But with broken ribs, returning to throwing is a good sign. Giovanni Bernard, limited practice yesterday and today with his knee injury. He could be another solid play this week. He does get the third down passing work for the Buccaneers.
I just don't think they're going to be down, and his only value is he doesn't have a single carry on the season.
But in a lot of things with Tom Brady trusts Bernard back there in pass protection, so he's going to be on the field.
Are you sure about that? Yeah. I would look at the snap shares. His only contribution to the team was when they were down big to the Rams week 3. I'm still not playing Bernard.
Yeah, you're probably not playing him except in the deepest of dynasty leagues.
16-team league.
Gronkowski, rib injury, didn't practice again Wednesday.
He's going to be out a while. Fractured ribs and a punctured lung.
Yeah,
Pretty big deal.
That could cut. I'm surprised they haven't put him on the IR yet. But Gronk is tough. He's played through multiple injuries in his career, so that could be keeping him in the consideration to start. Even if he starts, I'm probably not playing him right now.
Not right now. The only Miami Dolphin I'm considering even playing at this point, well, there's 2. Jalen Waddle, but definitely Mike Gesicki. Gesicki's been probably Jacoby Brissett's. Oh, sorry, my bad. Brissett's been targeting Gesicki a lot. So I think if you have Gesicki, and I'm at that point in our keeper league or redraft league, where do I start Gesicki or do I stick with Hawkinson?
I would stick with Hawkinson, but I will say I moved on to Gesicki after my starting quarterback or tight end got hurt, Logan Thomas, in another league. I think Gesicki is a solid play here.
Yeah, especially this week. I think they're going to be throwing a lot.
And then for Tampa Bay, start your running back. Start Leonard Fournette. Now, granted, we're all saying, like, a lot of analysts are saying the same thing. Start
We're
Leonard
saying
Fournette.
Leonard Fournette.
It's going to be Ronald Jones.
Yep, he's going to get out of Bruce Arians' doghouse and just go off for 35 points this week. Wide receivers, you're still starting Mike Evans.
You're starting the 3.
You're still starting Antonio Brown. You're still starting Chris Godwin. I think eventually Godwin's going to get it. He's going to find his stride, especially with Gronk out for a while.
Well, not only that, Tom Brady tends to kind of spread it around.
Yeah, he's really good.
You should see Godwin have a day where he goes back up.
It's not like Godwin's had terrible target shares. It's not the volume.
He has this
not the volume you're expecting.
10% is not a good target share.
That was 16.
I think week 1 was his highest, and it was like a 20, and then it steadily dropped like 14, 12, 10.
All right, that's 16. But anyway, yeah.
So Ryan, who's your pick?
I'm not starting Cameron Brate. I would go with Buccaneers though.
I agree. I'm going with Tampa Bay here. All right, so our next game, the New Orleans Saints at the Washington Football Team. New Orleans was favored by 2 points.
Is this this is an odd week, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So that means Ryan's taking the Saints.
No, seriously, I have a theory. I mean, Saints looked great week won against the Green Bay Packers, looked awful against Carolina, looked great in week 3, and then just
I don't think they looked
awful.
great. They looked okay.
Looked awful week 4 against the Giants. So now that it's an odd number week, which their bye is on an odd number week 7, right? No, week 6.
No, I think it's week 7. I can't remember.
No, they're week 6 because that's week 7 is when Michael Thomas is eligible again.
Okay, yeah.
So I think they're going to look bad this week, or they're going to look good this week. Sorry.
So Tony Jones Jr. he was placed on the IR. They picked up Divine Ozigbo.
Yeah.
You're not touching the backups in this situation
Unless you're big and you just go pick them up.
Well, that's a dynasty league, different.
Yeah.
Terry McLaurin, he's the 6th highest scoring wide receiver so far this season, but he's likely to be shadowed by Lattimore. When McLaurin lines up on the perimeter, Lattimore's a really good DB, so it could be a down game for McLaurin. The only upside is he lines up in the slot about 27% of the time. Mm-hmm. And then I wanted to update on Antonio Gibson. He didn't practice yesterday. Today he at least participated in position drills. Keep an eye on him. If he doesn't play, go get McKissick.
Yeah, dude, McKissick looks good, but and you always see the name on the TV for a 47-yard gain or a 30-yard touchdown, but then you look at his fantasy value and you're looking at his output and you're like, this doesn't match up with the stats that I keep seeing because he's just not getting the work. But maybe that'll change this week or maybe going forward.
So Ryan, I got a dynasty question for you here.
Okay, dynasty.
So Michael Thomas, we know he's out for at least a couple more weeks. We haven't heard anything for sure.
Okay.
At this point, let's say you're a team on the verge of competing for a championship.
You mean like I am?
Yes.
And Michael Thomas is on my IR?
Yep.
Okay.
Would you trade Michael Thomas for Robert Woods?
No, I would need more.
Okay. I was just curious what your thoughts were because I was looking at dynasty stuff and someone mentioned possibly trade for candidates, and Robert Woods was something that's like, could you get Michael Thomas or Robert Woods?
Here's my thought on that. We know what Michael Thomas can do, and we know what he's done, especially when healthy. And I think this time off has given him a lot of time to heal. This Saints offense has been really bad.
Go ahead, and we'll take this after.
And Robert Woods is in competition for targets with Cooper Kupp, Tyler Higbee,
Van Jefferson.
I don't like that target share
Fair.
area there. We know when Michael Thomas comes back, he's going to be the Brandon Cooks of the New Orleans
But
Saints.
they have such a low passing volume. Now,
Maybe that's because they don't have Michael Thomas.
Is Michael Thomas going to be the thing that opens up this offense?
And I hope so for Alvin Kamara's sake, because like, gosh darn it, in a redraft, I drafted Alvin Kamara 1-of-1 or 1.1, and I'm banging my head against that, really regretting that. But I hope week 7 or whenever Michael Thomas actually comes back that
they start letting Jameis be Jameis a little bit.
a little bit, yeah, let him throw the ball.
All right, so Ryan, who's your pick for this one?
As much as I want this to be high scoring, and I know it probably won't be, and I think it's going to go one way and not the other. I'm going to go New Orleans, but I would not be surprised if Washington pulls this one out.
I'm going to go with the Washington football team, but for people playing DFS, I want to warn you, Washington football team is one of the lower priced defenses out there. Avoid these guys. They're going to be highly played, and they're not a good defense right now.
Right. Do you see our question here that we got?
So we'll get to it after this. So if you want to go ahead and read that off.
So the question is from Young Blanche. I like that name. I have Lockett, DJ Moore, McLaurin. Need to for PPR. Not really sure. Would you start any of these guys over Swift in the flex? I would say yes. DJ Moore would be my go-to over DeAndre Swift in the flex.
DJ Moore at this point would be a fixture in my lineup every week.
Yeah, he would be a wide receiver too, or a guaranteed flex spot if I had him. I passed up on him in the draft, and I feel silly now, to be completely honest. I would play DJ Moore over Swift.
I would even consider McLaurin. Like I said, McLaurin is the 6th best wide receiver so far in the year. Mm-hmm. He is talented. Like I said, there could be a slight down week, but
Lockett's ceiling is very high,
his floor is low.
and right now you don't want to play Lockett this week in the flex because they play on Thursday night. They're about to start in about 40 minutes, if my math is 30 minutes. If you're going to play Lockett, he needs to be a wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. Keep your flex open, because
Probably not starting Lockett.
me neither.
Honestly, if I had Lockett, I'd be trying to trade him to see what I could get, especially if he has another blow-up game. Just because now all wide receivers are inconsistent, but these Seattle receivers, they're either low floor, high ceiling, and I don't like to trust those guys.
Not unless you have another just extremely high floor, high ceiling guy to pick up his slack.
Yeah, so to sum up, I would definitely start DJ Moore over Swift.
Especially
I would
flex.
consider McLaurin, but I wouldn't argue either way if you decide Swift or
right.
McLaurin.
And this week it's a tough call, but I do like DeAndre Swift, but just not this week with who you have, at your disposal here in these three guys.
Yep. All right, so moving on to our next game, we got the Eagles at the Panthers. The Panthers are currently 3.5-point favorites. Christian McCaffrey, he looked real good in practice according to their coach. He said, I think he said he came out today and he felt really good. I think he had another limited participation.
Yeah, when CMC was asked if he could play Sunday, his response was simply definitely.
It's still going to be a game time decision. It can be difficult to touch or trust players and what they say.
Mm-hmm.
Here you're definitely starting DJ Moore. Sam Darnold's a decent play here. I would say either running back Chuba Hubbard or CMC could be a good play. But if Christian McCaffrey's out, Robbie Anderson might be a decent play still. He got targets without Christian McCaffrey.
Hey, Tender Slayer, let me see who Buffalo plays this week.
We'll get to your question after this game as well. As for the Philly side, Hurts has been a star this year.
He's been really good. He's been very consistent, very accurate with the ball. I mean, other than that, what was that Thursday night game against the Cowboys? Or was it
even then, he still produced.
Yeah, he didn't look bad, or he didn't look as good, but he still doesn't look terrible.
Other than that, you could probably start Goddard and Hurts, but I'd be starting Devonta Smith as well.
Yeah.
Now Carolina did just get Stephon Gilmore, but it doesn't stop me from wanting to play Smith there.
Right.
So Ryan, who's your pick for this game?
I think this would be a close one, but we've seen Carolina come out and look really good. I'm going to go with the Panthers. I think I took the Panthers.
Yep, I agree. I'm going to go with Carolina as well, especially coming off of a loss. I think they're going to be the better team.
Well, man, yeah, I like Moss over Singletary for sure. Does your league have a tight end bonus? Is that what they call it? Where it's a 1.5 points per reception for a tight end?
Yeah, tight end premium.
Tight end premium.
Now, from this alone, see, Buffalo's playing Kansas City.
Yeah.
Kansas City's bad against just a bad defense in general.
I think it's a win-win no matter what.
In the flex, I'm hesitant to play tight ends in the flex, but
Same.
In this matchup, I'm still not fully trusting a Moss. I think I'd probably choose Dawson Knox.
I just think Knox is up. His ceiling is higher than Moss's right here, and I'm gonna agree with you. I hate playing tight ends in the slot.
Now, there's always some risk with this because Moss has probably some guaranteed touches as a running back.
Right.
Whereas Knox, tight ends can come and go.
Right, but I think we saw last week, and you were the victim of somebody, a.k.a. my wife, picking up Dawson Knox because Gronk was hurt and playing him against you. I think he had 25 points last week.
I don't remember, but he beat me. I'm going to ride the high hand here and go with Knox right now.
Yeah. Man. I'll agree with you, man.
It looks like Ryan's as stumped as you.
Moss is guaranteed to.
It depends. It might depend on what you need as well.
If these are the two guys you're arguing over in your flex, I would say Dawson Knox's ceiling is higher just because of PPR value.
That's what I was getting ready to say. It might depend on after tonight what you need. If you start down big, like let's say they play Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf against you and they go off, Dawson Knox may be the better play.
Or if they play Deshaun Jackson, for some reason he goes off.
Yep. Or
Cooper Kupp.
if you just need a higher floor, Moss might be your play.
Yeah, man, that's a good question. And
so, I mean,
I
my
think-
answer in a vacuum right now would be Knox, but my answer is also kind of dependent on how you're sitting.
I'm saying Moss, man. Tight ends are so fluky.
All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to our next game.
Yeah, if
the
you want
Tennessee
consistency, I'd go Moss.
The Tennessee Titans at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tennessee is currently 4.5-point favorites. Westbrook Ikine did not practice Wednesday with a hamstring injury. I didn't see an update for today. A.J. Brown's been limited with a hamstring injury. Julio didn't practice yesterday. I don't think he practiced today.
I don't think he's going to practice all week,
Yeah.
and he'll probably still play.
And then DJ Chark for Jacksonville was placed on the IR with a broken ankle, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're welcome, Tinder Slayer.
Yeah, sorry we didn't have a more definite answer.
Definitive
That's
answer.
a really good question, man. I would hate to be in your shoes right there.
So one thing I wanted to bring up, Tennessee, they have allowed the second most fantasy points to wide receivers. So if you have Jones and Chenault, they're probably good plays for you.
And the offensive coordinator for the Jaguars has said we want to get Chenault more involved.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's a good look.
Yep.
It really hurts my stock in James Robinson though.
I don't know. I mean, he was involved last week, and James Robinson was involved. So I don't know if it hurts your stock in him.
I just think I'm going to put Jonathan Taylor in RB2 because I have Kamara, and then play AJ Green in my flex. I don't know, man.
So I mean, those are three players I'm going to start for Jacksonville: Chenault, Jones,
Robinson.
and Robinson. Oh, and I mean, Dan Arnold. I wouldn't mind taking a shot on him.
I would wait another week just to see. I mean, he was there before the Thursday night game with Jacksonville, and we saw him get. He was there for 3 days.
Yeah.
He had gotten traded on Monday and got sent from Carolina to Jacksonville, practiced for a couple days, and then played on a Thursday night game.
And practices for Thursday night games were mostly just walkthroughs.
Yeah, so the fact that he picked up the playbook that fast must have been a familiar playbook.
For the Tennessee side, though,
Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry.
You're starting A.J. Brown if he plays. Other than that,
Yeah.
you might start Tannehill. I'm probably trying to avoid him if I can.
Right now, Ferkser, if you're hurting at tight end,
I don't know. He hasn't been.
I don't
efficient
trust
enough.
him. But if in a good McNichols, if he's out there and it's a deep league and you need a running back or a flex play, McNichols has been getting a lot of touches out.
He's been getting quite a bit of passing game work, and if they're down like they were last week, he could be a decent play.
And they could be down. We saw what the Jaguars did to the Bengals on Thursday night. Really had me angry at my Cincinnati Bengals, but
And me.
they're going to have to throw eventually.
All right, so Ryan, who's your pick for this game?
I got to go with the boys in blue, not teal. I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans.
All right, and we're going to try to start working through this a little bit sooner so we can get to watching the game tonight.
Yep. Sorry.
Nope, you're fine. So our next game, New England at Houston. New England's 9-point favorites. Brandon Cooks, so that's what we wanted to bring up.
That's it. He's just barely under.
Cooks has a
Calvin Ridley.
57.4% target share. He's has the second highest in the league. For the Houston side, you're only starting Cooks right now. For New England, Jacoby Myers probably the only guy you're considering right now.
That was late. Hey, I'm watching this guy. Tight end likely out of Coastal Carolina. Good size, good hands, a lot of looks. Anyway, let's go.
For New England, the only guy I'm really considering starting is Jacoby Meyer. Maybe Hunter Henry, but other than that,
N'Keal Harry, who I think he was a high draft pick.
he was a first round draft pick.
I'm not saying play him. I'm saying if you can roster him as a free agent right now and not have to make a waiver claim for him. I did it in a dynasty league. The dude looks big. He's
Yeah.
tall. And,
Yeah.
I mean, he had one target for one reception and 10 yards against the Buccaneers. But if you can roster him with a free agent claim and you have somebody on your bench that you just like, I'm
probably
never going to play this
I'm probably
person.
still not touching him in redraft. Dynasty League, maybe, I'd roster him.
Right. But if you have the room and the wiggle room and you can make a move for N'Keal Harry, he might be somebody to keep an eye on. I would say stash him if you can.
All right, so Ryan, who's your pick for this game?
I think this is easy. I think I'm going to go with the New England Patriots. Mac 10.
Yep, I'm going to go with Mac 10, Mac Jones, and New England Patriots as well.
He looked good. 19 straight completions against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I just think this Houston team is so broken on both sides of the ball. I don't know if they will win a game ever. I think they're
Another game, you
0-3.
mean?
Who'd they beat?
They won week 1, didn't they? Yeah, they won
Oh,
week
yeah,
1.
Jacksonville. The Jaguars. Yep, you're right. Yeah, they're gonna be the next Jacksonville. 0-19.
All right, so our next game, we got the Chicago Bears at the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders are 5.5-point favorites. Good news is, Matt Nagy has now come out and said Justin Fields is the starter. Andy Dalton is the backup.
Surprisingly.
I think that's really good news for Mooney. Not so much Allen Robinson. As for injury-wise, David Montgomery out 4 to 6 weeks with a knee injury.
Tough, man.
Darnell Mooney was limited yesterday with a groin injury.
Does linger.
Josh Jacobs limited Wednesday with an ankle injury.
But he looked pretty good Monday night.
And they're saying Peyton Barber's likely out for a few weeks with a mild turf toe.
Damn.
For the Chicago side of this, Fields could be a desperation start.
Maybe in a super flex
I'm
league.
probably still not touching him because he's only put up 10 fantasy points in 2 games.
Yeah.
But like I said, Darnell Mooney's someone I'm willing to put out there.
Yeah.
Darnell Mooney's getting those deep shots, and Fields throws a good deep ball.
Yeah, he's getting his target share for sure. He's
Allen
taking away
Robinson,
from
I'm
other
probably
people.
benching right now, though.
I'm still just not sure on anybody on this offense. They had a good week last week, especially David Montgomery, because, the Lions got into Chicago's within their 10-yard line. They were less than 10 yards to go for scoring, and they had 2 turnovers and stopped on, 4th down. That's not going to happen every week.
I will say I would considering starting Damian Williams as well. You spent either the waiver wire, the priority, or the fab to get him. You're probably starting him because you probably don't have anybody better.
Possibly.
As for the other side of this ball, you're starting Jacobs. Carr could be a start here. He seems to be to play better when you don't expect him to, which is a week like this. And Darren Waller, you could take a shot on Renfro, but I'm probably not touching one of the other receivers.
No, not at this point. Ruggs is high ceiling, and that's all his value is at this point.
I think he's a better version of Deshaun Jackson right now.
Oh, yeah, he's a younger. So, yeah.
Well, not only that, I just think he's a little more talented. He's got a little more size and can go up and get the ball a little bit better, too.
No, you're right.
So who's your pick for this game?
I'm going to go with the Raiders. Was that Chris Berman back in the day?
Yep, I'm going to go with the Raiders as well.
Get
Just
it done.
win, baby, win.
Get it done, Carrier.
Well, hopefully he's healthy. He's had the pec injury.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He was on the field all Monday night, so he'll be good.
So our next game, the Cleveland Browns at the Los Angeles Chargers. No real injury updates here. For the Browns, would you rather start Hunt over Chubb right now?
Absolutely.
At least in a PPR league?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Chubb's getting the rushing work, but Hunt's getting the passing work.
Yeah, he's getting all the third down work and all the looks out of the backfield. In the passing game, Hunt's the guy to go to.
Other than that, for Cleveland, I'd be willing to start Odell Beckham Jr. Baker missed him on a couple what should have been easy completions. If you look at Beckham's stat line, it doesn't look good, but if you add those in there and Baker hits him, it's a whole different look for
I
Odell.
think this team's a whole different team when Landry comes back too.
Yep. As for the Chargers side of the ball,
Everybody looks good.
Everybody looks good.
You're starting Eckler. You're starting Mike Williams.
You're starting Herbert.
Unless you have the number 2 and number 1 wide receivers in standard and PPR football. You're starting Mike Williams. You're starting Keenan Allen. You're starting Austin Eckler.
You could possibly throw a flyer out on Cook.
Yeah, Jared Cook looked pretty good there too on Monday night.
I do want to say, be kind of. I'm not hesitant, but it wouldn't be surprising to see a down game because, as I mentioned, Cleveland has held teams to their least amount of points scored so far this year, if anything, except for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I just think Herbert and the crew is going to do what Herbert and the crew does.
I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Is what I'm getting at.
I feel like it will be. I feel like the Chargers are going to just absolutely blow the roof off of this shiznit.
All right, so who's your pick?
I'm going to Chargers, man.
I'm going with Chargers as well. I think as Schwarzenegger once said, "Go Chargers, go."
They just looked good every week so far. So,
all right, so our next game, the Giants at the Cowboys. Currently, the Cowboys are favored by 7. Saquon was limited with the knee injury. Galladay limited with the groin injury. Slayton and Shepard both have not practiced, but Shepard has worked out on the side.
I still think they're both not going to play. And either way, I think Galladay and Kadarius Toney, or Galladay for sure is who you're going to want to play this week.
Actually, I'm going to argue against that because he's likely to be shadowed by Trayvon Diggs.
Maybe.
Diggs will likely shadow Galladay, and Diggs has 5 interceptions in 4 games. Diggs is a really good DB.
Yeah, I mean, he has more interceptions than Kamara has rushing touchdowns. So
he has 5 interceptions.
Kamara has 0 rushing touchdowns. I think he has 2 receiving.
So temper expectations for Galladay, but Toney could be a decent flex play.
I'm playing him.
Yep.
I don't have anybody else to play. So.
As for the other side of the ball, let's see. Zeke did not practice on Wednesday. He did practice today. Cooper, he didn't practice yesterday. He practiced today though. But I wanted to bring up Zeke is averaging 5.3 yards per carry this year. That is more than Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Gibson, Kamara, and Eckler. Everybody was down on Zeke to start this year. I told you he'd turn it around, and he has.
I think having Dak Prescott under center or
it's revitalized this offense.
Yeah, I mean, you got Andy Dalton back there and Ben DiNucci and whoever the other guy. Cooper Rush. I'm going to stack the box. I'm going to put 8 people in the box and hope that my 3 DBs can cover 5 people in like a third zone, whatever. That's got to be a new defense.
I do want to bring up Cooper. He will likely be shadowed by Bradbury, who is actually a pretty good shutdown corner for the Giants. In their 2 games last year, Cooper had 4 catches for 25 yards and no TDs against Bradbury. I think one of those games were with Dak, and that was actually his worst game. So that could lead to a bigger game for Lamb, hopefully.
Gosh, fingers crossed, please. Especially because I play you this week in the league. I have CD. We played each other in one league last year. We played each other last week in our Dynasty League. He had CD Lamb. I have CD Lamb in the Keeper League. 3.3 points or whatever it was for both of us. And now this week, I hope we both have really great games out of CD. Now that I play you in the league, I have CD.
All right, so who's your pick for this game?
I think Dallas.
I agree. I'm going Dallas here.
We've seen Dallas put up points, and I just don't think the Saints just couldn't keep up somehow with the Giants. I just don't think the Giants are going to be able to keep up with Dak.
All right, so 3 more games. We got San Francisco at Arizona.
We got 15 minutes.
Arizona is currently 5.5-point favorites. So, we mentioned Cook. We mentioned DJ Moore and their target shares. Well, Deebo Samuel has a 54.6% target share.
That's third, right?
Yep, that is the 3rd highest in the league. As for injuries, though, Elijah Mitchell, shoulder injury, he was limited yesterday. Last week he was limited, but he had a no-contact jersey on. This week he's actually in pads. So he has a shot to play, and I think if he goes in there, he's the guy you want over Sermon.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. You want Sermon over Or sorry, you want Elijah Mitchell if he's playing.
Kittle, calf injury, didn't practice Wednesday. I didn't see an update for today, but I know they're usually a little later getting those out. Keep an eye on the injury report for Kittle. Ross Dwelly is his backup. I'm not sure I'm starting him, especially if Lance does play.
Right.
Jimmy Garoppolo had a calf injury. He didn't practice today or yesterday. Well, at least yesterday. I think I saw something about today. I can't be sure. But he still could possibly play this weekend. I don't think he will, but there is a possibility. Robbie Gould, the future kicker.
Get him out
Get
of there.
somebody else who's placed on the IR with a groin injury.
Oh, that's why. No, you dropped Prater. Never mind.
I dropped Prater because I had to move somebody off the IR, a.k.a. Higgins. Edmonds did not practice on Wednesday due to a shoulder injury. I think he's going to play, though. If he doesn't, James Conner, I think, is somebody you could plug and play here.
But if Edmonds doesn't play, Rondell Moore could be a great flex option. So I feel like Edmonds takes up a lot of his receptions and looks. I know there's a really crowded offense. You got Christian Kirk, AJ Green, Max Williams, DeAndre Hopkins. James Conner can catch it. Kyler Murray can make things happen with his feet. Man, it really stinks to be a Rondell Moore fan. I just hope that his stock would go down just a little bit in the trading card business, but it hasn't.
So Max Williams, he also didn't practice Wednesday due to a shoulder issue. If you're banking on playing, watch the injury report.
Yeah.
San Francisco scares me if Trey Lance is starting. I think if he is, depending on who you have at QB, you might start Trey Lance. Mm-hmm. He's just dangerous enough with his legs, and he seems to throw the ball well.
Yeah, he doesn't look bad. I think really the only wide receiver you're playing here is Debo.
Yeah, you're not trusting Ayuk right now.
Nope.
Kittle, if he's healthy.
Especially with Garoppolo out.
Yeah. Kittle, if he's healthy, you're playing him.
And it's either Elijah Mitchell at running back or Trey Sermon, if not.
Now, I will say, one thing that scares me, because Lance is a mobile quarterback,
is that it takes away their carries.
It does not carries. Passes.
PPR?
Yeah. So be wary about that.
Well, who do you got in this one?
I think I am going to go with the Cardinals.
Oh, man, you stole my... Hey, I picked against the Cardinals last week. I apologize.
Have we picked the same every game so far this week?
I took the... You took Washington football team.
Oh, yeah. That might be the only game we've chosen differently.
Yeah, I think so. And I feel bad. I thought Arizona was going to get upset last week, but they didn't. They went out and took care of business against the Rams. They look really, really good. Hey, they're one of the only they're one of two teams left undefeated. No.
Nope, they're the only undefeated left.
Because the Raiders lost.
Yep.
Raiders. Nah, so
right.
they're the only, I got Cardinals.
We'll move on to Buffalo at Kansas City. Kansas City's currently 2.5-point favorites. I'm going to break this one down quick. Start everybody.
Yeah, this
Mahomes, Allaire, Hill, Kelsey, Sanders,
Pringle,
not
Robinson,
Sanders for Buffalo, Diggs, Beasley,
Josh Gordon,
possibly Knox, Gordon. Yeah, Gordon could be a decent play.
He's gonna make his debut.
And Allen. Yeah, other than that, there's nothing to break down. Like I said, the Chiefs are bad on offense.
You mean Chiefs are bad on defense?
Or defense. Yeah, they're good on bad in the good way on offense.
I bet I know who you're picking, and I bet we're picking the same. The Bills.
I actually was leaning towards the Bills. You know, I hadn't fully thought about it yet.
Are you going to change it? I'm going with the Bills.
This is at Arrowhead.
I'm going with the Bills.
But I made a bet on the Bills to win the Super Bowl, even though I meant to choose the Packers.
That's fair.
I'm going to go with the Bills.
Yeah, we're only on one team. And if my New Orleans theory turns out to be true, next week's, well, it'll be their bye week. So when they come back,
all right. So our last game that we had to go over, Indianapolis at Baltimore. Baltimore's currently 7-point favorites. The only really injury note I have here, Bateman could make his debut this week. Stash him if he still hasn't been picked up.
Taylor had something to do with low. I think they said thigh.
I might have missed it, but
sore thigh.
He showed up on the injury report last week and he played.
Yeah,
he's not.
He's gonna play.
You're starting Taylor, possibly Pittman. You know this could be a tougher matchup for him.
Mo Alley Cox if you're just really
If
tight
you're desperate and you want tight end upside.
touchdown dependence.
Baltimore, you're starting Jackson. I'm avoiding the running backs. Hollywood and Andrews. That's
yeah, I
probably
think
about it.
Marquise Brown, Mark Andrews,
All right,
Lamar
so
Jackson.
I'm going Baltimore. Ryan, are you going with the upset this week?
No, I think Baltimore's it, especially at home. Hey, we've seen them defend their home turf pretty well this season. I went with Indy last week, but that's when they played the Dolphins, and I think that's a fair pick there. But I think Ravens got it this week.
All right. Well, that's our show for this week. I'll see you again on Saturday for DFS Saturday.
I might figure that out eventually. You gotta remember, I have a wife. I gotta go do things. Hey, we're going to the Renaissance Festival.
We'll have time after. I'll do it.
We'll have time
Saturday.
after. We'll have time.
Maybe
after.
we'll do a joint one. Who knows?
Are we smoking joints now? Rolling doobies?
No.
I was about to say, you don't do that.
But
me neither, because I'm a good Southern Christian boy.
other than that, we'll see you again on Monday. Look for the posts if you want to join our DFS matchup. That will be on Facebook, Twitter, not Instagram because we can't share links yet.
Nope, not yet. We're not good enough.
And other than that, you guys have a good night. Enjoy Thursday Night Football.
Like us, share us, get the word out. Fantasy football, semi-pros, the one-stop shop for all your fantasy football needs.
Jackie Moon.
Check it out, baby. America.